I got Nathan Bond, Bay Area Examiner. You're back with BAE now, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're in, you're out,
It's
you're in, you're out. I'm like, this guy, you're not going anywhere, bro. I know he's out. I'm like, it's the summertime. Wait till football season. He starts smelling the grass. He'll be back on.
I know. I need to take some time off. I need some me time.
Hell yeah. Buddy, we all do, and especially with your beautiful family that you have, you make sure you take as much time as you need, and you'll be welcome back with open arms. That's for sure. And if it's not open arms, you let me know, and I'll talk to the rest of the BAE crew, and then we'll go from there. Dude, I was gonna have you on today. We were gonna preview the game, and then this freaking story just says, "Here you go. Here's a USF story on a silver platter that Jay and Nate can talk about today at 12:20." Jim Leavitt, my goodness, arrested on misdemeanor battery and felony grand theft charges. I mean, I'll read it real quick just so everybody knows. Monday's incident occurred at a St. Pete apartment complex. Accused of taking possession of a Louis Vuitton purse, clutch, and wallet, which is worth $5,000, belonging to Alexandra Saab, and refusing to give it to her as she attempted to leave. Oh my God. What are we doing with Jim Leavitt? This guy, they welcome him back, Nathan, and then this is what happens.
Well, you know what? You touched the stove one too many times. This is what you get. Uh, like he hit a kid,
Yeah.
and you're bringing him back. Like I don't know. I'm probably the wrong person to like be
Where did
level-headed
you
about
where
this,
did you
but
fall up? Where did you fall on that original story? Because listen, I had this conversation when the news first came out about him getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, and some people said, "Oh, you're beating a dead horse," and blah blah. And I'm like, wait a second. Like he got let go, and it was confirmed that this actually happened. This wasn't hearsay, and I feel like in sports, people tend to brush things under the rug if you've done something good for them. We've seen it with John Gruden, and now we're seeing it with Jim Leavitt. It's like, oh, well, you brought us some success. So, yeah, all those other stuff, we're going to kind of just like forget about it and ignore it. But it's hard not to think about that, Nate, and think about his impending induction into the Hall of Fame this fall when something like this happens.
yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? It was all true. Every single part of it was factually correct. He did try to intimidate players to lie for him. Judy Genshef tried to just say, "Hey, admit you did it, and we can work on this."
Mm-hmm.
And he just steadfast refused. He got fired, never ever became a head coach again for obvious reasons. What's surprising to me is like he doesn't usually like melt down in August. It's usually like early October,
Mm-hmm.
late September. He usually has the meltdown. Yeah, losing to Rutgers on a Thursday night or a Connecticut team that is just atrocious. So
Right.
it's definitely him changing his stripes in that regard that he fell apart so early in the season. But we'll see. This, oh man, you you get what you asked for. This is you were hoping for the best and you got burned by it. I would love to know who bullied, pushed for him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year.
Right.
Because
Is it still happening? Does and I think that this listen, that's the first thing. Whether and I know and I'm sorry, the lovely Nancy Carroll, she wants to talk about the USF game. We'll get into that here in a moment, Nancy. But the question has to be asked, Nate, because of this, right? Does Jim Leavitt still get inducted into the USF Hall of Fame? I don't think he does.
it's going to be a real awkward ceremony on October 2nd, that's for sure.
I mean, how do you let that? How do you still let him go in when something like this happens? Right? Listen, the people that are going to defend Jim Leavitt, they're probably going to defend him here for this, and they're going to say, "Well, it doesn't take away from what he did when he brought this team to the highest of highs, the highest that this program has ever seen." But you can't ignore what happened on Monday night, and I don't see how you can have a USF Sports Hall of Fame induction with Jim Leavitt being involved after what just happened.
I don't see it. I don't think it's a good look for the university. They're going through a lot of shifts right now. Yeah, you're looking for a president. You're looking for a CEO of athletics. Even interdepartmental wise, there's been a lot of turnover. It, it's not a great look for anybody to kind of keep him around, keep him involved. Obvious caveat: innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
But it definitely seemed like a bad breakup, and he was trying to get the things that he gave her, like a
Mm-hmm.
"I bought you this, give it back" sort of thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk some football then, because we had a touch on the Leavitt thing. Let's talk some
We
football.
did.
What's your level of excitement going into this game on Thursday as far as the chance that USF has to win this game against Boise State? Because you and I, we've been sitting in this press box. I've been there for a decade now, and we've been just sitting there, and we've been in this spot before. Hey, we're playing Wisconsin. It's going to be, and then, whoa, the end of that game was like, I wish it ended quicker. Like, it was ugly, but it seems a little different now. Third year under Alex Golesh, Byrum Brown now, all right, fine. Third year into this offense. He looks bigger. He looks stronger. We know 2 years ago, looking at what he was able to do, numbers only rivaled by Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels. What is your thought process going into Thursday as far as chances USF has to win this game?
Less than 50, more than 15.
Okay.
Things got to break right. There's still a lot of question marks, right? The
Right.
offensive line picked up. They did a lot better last year,
Right.
toward the end of the year when they made the switch at center. I think Cole Best is the guy at center going
Mhm.
forward. I think if he gets hurt, there's going to be major issues along the
No doubt.
offensive line. The start of this year compared to last year is probably going to be about the same. I don't think you'll see a true barometer of what this team can be because the schedule's super tough. And God bless USF. They are not anywhere near Florida. They're not anywhere near Miami. And I have serious doubts that they're even close to Boise State. Boise State's been a powerhouse G5 school for what, 20 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't really have down years. Their down years are like 8-4.
Right.
So like there's levels to this, right? I got to see that Byron Brown feels confident and comfortable in the pocket. What's he going to do when it's muddy at his feet?
Mm.
Do his eyes drop? That's what I'm looking to see. I think that's basically what the coaching staff is also looking to see. Like you can only simulate so much of that in practice. He hasn't been hit in almost a year. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, is he going to there's just some like shell shock a little bit. I mean, you break a bone in that kind of gruesome-ish like way that he
Mm-hmm.
did against Tulane. It's gonna be kind of weighing in the back of your mind when they're like it's always messy in the pocket. Is he gonna want to dip out? Which is fine because he's an excellent runner. He's bulked up. He's massive right now. And he's like 6'3", 231. I think 220 of it is muscle. Like the dude is built. But will we see it? Will we see the new weapons? Who's going to be his security blanket? He's never thrown a pass to Keyshawn Singleton in a game that
Right.
he's caught. Like no catches. All of Keyshawn Singleton's catches were with Bryce Archie, who's with the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
You got to turnover at running back. Like that three-headed monster last season was no slouch. I think they totaled like 1,700 yards combined, close to 20 touchdowns. That was a great stable of running backs. Does Alvin Isaac step up with Sam Franklin and Cartavius Norton? That's a big question. Defensively, you're bad until you're not. You got to prove to me that you're competent for more than a quarter and a half. We haven't seen that yet. Do the influx of the D-line talent transfers help? Does it worry you that they brought in some guys after spring ball a little bit? Does the back end prove that they're capable of tackling in space? A lot of question marks. I don't think we'll actually have a full answer until middle of October. Just three different wavelengths between Boise, Florida, Miami, and USF is not quite there yet.
What would make you let's say they don't win. What would you want to see then out of them? And you hate to say, just compete for 4 quarters, but we might be there. And I know Alex Golesh doesn't want to hear that. I've asked him before about the moral victories and the silver linings, but I mean, they've fallen off a cliff in some of these games. I was there, and we were there in Tuscaloosa. We're like, man, they're there. Byrum hits those 2 passes. We might be having a different conversation today. But that fourth quarter, when we eventually got down to the field, it was just like run, rabbit, run. And the score really wasn't indicative of how close the game was. But we also saw that, against Miami, at Raymond James Stadium. So is it just competing for fourth quarters and staying within one score? I hate to say that. And I know Alex Golesh doesn't want to hear that, but I mean, that's got to be a step forward if they do that Thursday night, no?
I agree. You gotta be at least semi-confident for 4 quarters, and they haven't been able to really do that against a good team. They were able to dominate Charlotte, but then you go and get beat by Rice. So like, what what are we really? What is
Mm-hmm.
this team? There's been no consistency. I know Alex Golesh has harped on being consistent. I think the entire press conference on Monday was about the fourth quarter and being consistent. They just got to get to the fourth quarter and have a shot. 'Cause I
Mm-hmm.
honestly don't know what they're capable of in the fourth quarter against these higher level opponents, because it really hasn't happened often enough to say one way or another. Is it just talent? Is it coaching? It seems like it's talent in the first 3 quarters because they're not being able to even get into the fourth quarter. We'll see what happens. But I fear for what the fan base is going to do after week 3.
As far as the team as a whole, Alex Golesh, Byron Brown, what do you think?
I think the expectations are way too skewed. Like 0-3, be competitive. I kind of put in our Bay Area Examiner Discord, like if the point differential is within 50 points between the first 3 games, I think this team wins the conference.
Really?
Like
Okay.
I think Florida and Miami are just that good. You got to just take your lick, stay healthy, and live to fight another day. But you keep that point differential. If you can sneak one against Boise State, like they're gettable,
Mm-hmm.
much more so than the next two. But yeah, you keep that point differential within 50. I think you win this conference.
So those are the
That
kind of
shows
the
some confidence.
realistic expectations for the Bulls in the first 3 games, pretty much.
Yeah, I think like you go 0-3 to start, you can still finish 9-3 and you win the conference. Like that
Right.
that that's on the table, and it's definitely something to kind of keep in the forefront now. If they lose to Charlotte, or they don't
Right.
dominate Charlotte, because Charlotte's just maybe the worst team in the conference
Mm-hmm.
right now. Like if you can't beat them, like beat them like you did last year, then you've got some question marks going forward. But I don't see that happening. There's just some teams that are just so horrific in this conference that you can do some damage.
What are your thoughts on Alex Golesh? Where is he at right now? I don't think it's fair to say he's on the hot seat because he's gone. We're talking about man. We saw the Jeff Scott era. But where are we at with Alex Golesh? Because like I said, I don't know if it's fair to say he's on the hot seat, but it just seems like we got to see some progress this year. And it seems like Bulls fans, and you just kind of alluded to it, their expectations may be a little bit more unrealistic because they think, hey, look at all these challenges that we have in the beginning of the season. We might be able to clip 1 or 2, and now we're back, baby. But it's tough because, like you said, there's a lot of question marks. So I guess one of the big questions is your thoughts on Alex Golesh and the job he's done so far and what he needs to do this season.
Him taking that 2023 team to a bowl game was nothing short of a miracle. Like you look back at that
Mhm.
roster and like how did this team get to a bowl game?
All right.
And last year you you get to a bowl game with a baseball player as your quarterback. Like and I know everybody loved Izzy Carter. Izzy Carter should have watched more film. If he
Mhm.
wanted to be the
Right.
true number 2, you should watch more film. Like there's no two ways about it. That was their biggest issue with Izzy. All the talent in the world. You saw it when Bryce got hurt last season, but you got to do the stuff, Sunday to
Mhm.
Saturday that make it worth it for these coaching staffs. It's, do they trust you? Can they trust you to get in and out of stuff? And there were a few instances last season where even when Izzy came in, there was a game early in the season. Uh, Bryce, the game was over. Bryce had already taken off his uniform. They were doing some like kneel down stuff, and I think they either had to burn a timeout or they got a false start because he was in there because people weren't in the right position in the huddle. It's those little things.
Mhm.
So you do those little things. I think that's what I feel a little bit more comfortable if something were to happen. Gaston Moore, he was the true number two at Tennessee last season. Same kind of system. I think they love Lachlan as well. I feel more comfortable this year than I did last year with the QB room.
Yeah, like you said, you had a guy throwing 95 there. Shout out to Bryce Archie for sure. He did everything he could, but his future is certainly on the mounds. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about the state of USF as a whole. When do you think we could see a new CEO? Do you think that comes before or after a new president for the school?
So what's interesting is I think they're kind of waiting for Florida at this point for the president. They just announced that they're just going to stick with an interim president and then pick up this search in 2026. So I'm going to assume that's going to postpone USS presidential search. I think the state of Florida is trying to kind of get everybody on the same path, same spectrum of type of president. So I think they're going to wait to get the flagship essentially
Right.
of the state taken care of, then go to USF and go from there. So I think you'll see a CEO probably, like mid-October. I think that's probably fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's
Any
really not.
Who you thinking, internal or external?
If they go internal, I'm burning it down.
He's Seth Rollins burning it down. You don't want the internal at all.
No, God, no. You need somebody who can raise money, make money. They don't need to know the way college football is going, and college football is the thing that the engine for college athletics going forward. It doesn't matter who you are, what you think. They've got to make sure that there's money flowing in. They've got to do everything they can to put football in the right spot. They need to raise money. Like that the announcement that they put out about we're going for the CEO was the most private equity like AI chat box let me get out a press release that I've ever seen. I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone from like a private equity firm that is going to be the new CEO, just in charge of getting money in the building.
Got to do it, man. It's about fundraising more than anything now, isn't it?
Yeah, the schedule makers they can have GMs like the AD, the CEO doesn't need to be responsible for the day-to-day stuff anymore. They'll get their own GMs. Andrew Warshaw's kind of overseeing a bunch of stuff anyway.
Mhm.
He'll handle the football stuff. They'll get some scheduling people, and the CEO is just going to be right approving or denying the budget at this point.
There you go. Nate the Great, Nathan Bond from Bay Area Examiner, always bring in the heat. Somebody said Bull J86, Nate throwing flamethrowers. You got that right. That's how he rolls, buddy. I appreciate your time. Thank you. And I'll see you Thursday night at Ray J, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. See you then.
All right.